the Portfolio Committee on the Social Development hereby declare Hammanskraal Community Center as the precinct of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature in terms of Rule 56 of the Standing Rule of the Gauteng Legislature, read together with Section 1 and 2 and Section 22 of the Powers, Privileges, Immunity of Parliament and Provincial Legislature Act Number 4 of 2004. The declaration that I've read is just declaring that this House is now the premises of Gauteng Provincial Legislature according to the Act. So we'll start with our meeting. We have been in consultation with the National Assembly. We have been in consultation with the NCOP because of this bill, which is coming out of the Act number 13 of 2006. Now, I would like to remind you all that next to where you are sitting, on a little gadget that looks like this. On this gadget, you just put them on, le adikenya mo ditsebeng tsa lona, ha ile ra lena tsona le miseng matsogo ba kgona le tlisetsa tsona. Now, the gadget tse le kenya like this, and then utlo you are going to be able to hear all the languages. How feel in a channel? I know that channel 6 ke Zulu and Xhosa, channel 5 ke Sepedi le Sotho, channel 4 ke Tsonga le Sevenda, channel 3 is Afrikaans, and then I am expecting that our sign language officials are here, so they will be beamed on the screen for those who cannot hear the 12th language according to the South African Constitution. Look at the screen, you will see, and then so the meeting can flow smoothly. Let me take the opportunity to thank you officials in those booths, our language brigade. I really appreciate that you arrive on time. Please, emisa matsogo bagolo ba kgone go lefa di gadgets tse. Ha ke batle problem ya hore na a ke a utlwa gore bo reng chairperson. I'm gonna give you about 3 minutes. Please distribute this thing. I can't start the meeting without you guys having distributed this. I thought you have put them on the seat. Just give them those who want them, please. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity and welcome you again. We are now going to continue or start with our meeting. I'm just going to give you a small welcoming and the purpose of this meeting. Like I said, can you please request the information while quiet? Just raise your hand, they will see you. You don't have to make noise. Otherwise, the meeting is going to have to stop. Okay. Thank you. It gives me pleasure to observe that the majority of the people who are in this hall, honorable members, are the older people. These are the people that this bill, its purpose is intended for. It was going to be a big mistake to present this kind of a bill on audience that are the youth. Now, you as older people, your government that you have elected, have realized that in the act that is there, that has been in existence, have always been challenges, especially challenges that have to do with the protection of older people. Now, since 2010, as the bill has been in effect, the government has went out on a roadshow, specifically around 2014 and 2015, where it needed consultation to hear from Older People's Forum, the Human Resource Commission, different departments, publics, and there were inputs that were taken into consideration. Out of those inputs, then a bill emerged. That is when the NCOP started meeting with different legislations. We can share with you that our NCOP has visited Gauteng Provincial Legislature. The NCOP has met with my committee, the Portfolio of Social Development, and we, together with the department, the provincial department, and the NCOP, we've decided that it is good, it will be for the betterment of our people if we can come and do a public hearing. And the first public hearing was done in Johannesburg on the 11th of this month. Today we are on the second public hearing. The good thing about your public hearing is that before we came today, there was workshops that were provided to you, and I was informed that you attended these workshops in big numbers. And I really want to say thank you very much. Now, today we are going to present this bill for you, as there were gaps. Understand that on the gaps, there will be areas of definitions which are covered in Chapter 1 and are covered in Chapter 3, areas on Chapter 3, areas on Chapter 4, areas on Chapter 5, and areas on Chapter 6. These are very important sections of the Act that really needed us to come to you and talk to you about this bill. Now, without a waste of time, I'm going to allow Mavis Mpila. Mavis Mpila is from the National Department of Social Development, is going to give you a thorough presentation. Now, once she is done with the presentation, we want to encourage you to participate in this work, in this public hearing. We also want to see or want to tell you that we will be very happy to receive your written submissions so that all what you wished for can also be added into the amendments that we are going to take them forward to the NCOP. Mavis, I'm going to give you the time to make the presentation. Feel free to present it the way you want. I will just be happy if you can present it in such a way that this audience understand exactly what you were talking about. Thank you very much. The floor is for you, Mavis.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Good morning to the honorable members. Good morning to colleagues at Provincial Department, also at National Department. As introduced, my name is Mavis Mpela, but most importantly, Chair, before I move, I would like to greet batho ba baholo ka moholong. Thobela batho ba baholo. Le kae? I'm glad that we understood each other. It means I'll mix English also a little bit so that we can understand each other very well when I'm doing the presentation. I would like firstly to provide a brief background of the Act. The Act came in effect in 2010, and since then we have experienced challenges in implementing the Act, and that resulted to our amendment today. So batho ba bagolo, molao ona wa batho ba bagolo o bile mo molaong ka 2010, and ever since then o bile le mathatanyana he re ntse re thusha batho ka ona. And the bill is the product of consultation with
Mavis,
stakeholders.
just hold on. Just hold. Can that meeting there at the corner, me wa katibe wa itili meeting wa how? Me wa katibe wa itili meeting. Can you go outside? Take that meeting outside, please. Yeah. If I see any meeting in a group, in a corner, I'm going to take that meeting outside. Because now, National Department is presenting a very important bill for you, and I need inputs from you. It is going to be impossible for you to input while you were not listening. Thank you. You can carry on. Please put the mic to you so they can hear you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Honorable Chair. As I continue, the bill is the product of consultation with various stakeholders, such as South African Older Persons Forum, South African Human Rights Commission, other government departments, NPOs, Institution of Higher Learnings, and private sectors. So it is safe to say that the bill was well consulted, and most people have put their inputs and also their comments towards the bill. Now, Chair, I would like to discuss the purpose of the amendment and what the bill seeks to do. The amendment bill seeks to amend the Older Persons Act in order to insert new definitions and provisions relating to monitoring and evaluation. It is important to monitor each and every bill that is being legislated and being considered to be law. It further seeks to insert measures for the removal of an older person when they are moved to a temporary safe care. It is safe to say, Chair, that previously in our Act, for a removal of an older person to a temporary safe care required a court order. Now we have amended the Act that an older person can be removed without a court order. This is very important in cases where an older person faces abuse. Batho ba bagolo he ba sutliwa, and then banyoko moviwa to a home that is safe. It is no longer important to obtain a court order. Motho moholo can be moved without a court order. And also, the amendment bill intends to respond to identified legislative gaps on the Principal Act and the similar implementation challenges hampering the protection of older persons. Furthermore, matters of poor coordination and intersectoral collaboration have impacted negatively in this Act. Batho ba baholo, I would like to explain this. He re bolela ka intersectoral collaboration. Re bolela ka di government tse di berekang kaofela. It is important that the Department of Basic Education, the Department of Home Affairs, SAPS should come into play when they are assisting older people. For example, he motho o moholo a sotlehile a ya ko police station, it is important that the police official provide assistance to an older person, and as well, go to home care basis, it is important that the nurse, they provide social services to older people who have disabilities, who are frail. So it is important that we have an intergovernmental collaboration to assist Batho ba baholo as a whole. And also, the amendment will strengthen the monitoring and evaluation measures on services to older persons, inclusive of proper enforcement measures for non-compliance. If motho o mogolo a ka ya police station and then lepodisa la palla ko mo thusa, it is important hore o reporte lepodisa leo, because as motho o moholo you are entitled by law to assistance by a police official. You can report such police officer to IPIT, ke batho ba accountang, ba tshwarang maphodisa hore ba accounted to their duties. And also, motho o mogolo ha tlhoka thuso from a social worker and the social worker is not providing the required assistance, motho o mogolo can go and report such social worker. Ho ne le council ya di social worker ba e bitsa Social Service Professionals Council. You can go to that council and then we report as such social worker that they are not delivering upon their mandate. So we are holding them to account if they are not providing social services as required by the Act. And furthermore, we have included Chapter 5, wherein it provides protection of older persons, and we have also introduced strict measures, as I have alluded before, that those strict measures they include reporting a social worker who's not providing social services, or reporting a police official. Here will a police station will report abuse. You can also report to those groups as I have mentioned. Honorable Chair, I would like now to go to our clauses, and I will start by clause 1, which provides for the definitions. We have redefined some of the old definitions that were in the Act. One example I can give is the definition of an older person. Previously, batho ba baholo, there was a differentiation between motho wa monna le motho wa mosadi. Ne ba re motho wa mosadi o ba motho o moholo at the age of 60. And motho wa monna o ba motho o mogolo at the age of 65. Now we have amended the Act, and the definition of an older person means a person who is 60 years of age or older. Ha ho sena differentiation. This is to align it with the Constitution in terms of Section 9, e bolelang ka the Equality Clause, that everyone is equal before the law. Whether you are a male or you are a female, we are all equal. So at the age of 60, batho kaofela in South Africa, they are regarded as older persons. And also, the other definition that we have redefined is the definition of a caregiver, wherein we have added a family member as a caregiver who will provide services to older persons who have disabilities or who are frail. And also we have added any person in the community who provide care services to older persons, but such person has to possess a qualification that is accredited by the National Framework Qualification. As I move along, Chair, I would like to move to Chapter 1, which provides for the objects, implementation, application, and general principles. In terms of Section 2, we have amended Section 2 to protect the rights of older persons in conformity with the Constitution and domestic law. Bagolo, if you can remember, hege thoma mo mathomong, ke itse ka re molao o re file di challenge when we were implementing it. Now we have conformed the Older Persons Amendment Bill with the Constitution and other domestic law of the country so that it can be easy and we can be able to implement this legislation. Chair, I would like to move to Section 3, wherein we have inserted subsection 4 and subsection 5, which provides for the interdepartmental structures to work together. As I have said, it is important hore mimusho e berekishane kaofela. In Section 3, re tlo berekisana le office ya Premier who thusa batho ba baholo for service delivery. Any issues that relate to service delivery, it is covered under Section 3, under subsection 4 and Section 5. Honorable Chair, can I move to Section 5, where in this section it is very important, and in touch very deep because it's a growing concern in our community, wherein we find motu omoholo ahola after the age of 70 or after the age of 80, and the community start accusing that older person of witchcraft. We have this tendency in our community, hore, you cannot live longer. If you live longer, it means wa lawyer. It means wa fufa bushiru. That is not accepted in our law. You cannot accuse anyone of witchcraft. And this section, Honorable Chair, it is protecting older people against such accusation. And it is an offense to accuse an older person, and you can be arrested or you can be fined for that. Rakwana batho ba bagolo. Chair, I would also like to move to Section 7. Section 7 also, it comes close to Batubaba Rolo because there was this trending video on social media. I don't know if you, Batubaba Rolo Lesai Ropola, there was this old woman, Aneli the grandson, I think Zebalwela Raisi, and then it trended, wana o apusha motomo rolo. Abuser motomo mo social media. Section 7, it covers the incidents so that there should be a dialogue between a young generation and older generation so that we can pass knowledge, so that conflicts such as dintwa between batho ba bagolo le bana can be resolved among families, they can be resolved among communities. There is no need ya hore motho o mogolo anne antse a pushana le ngwana. So Section 7, it protects older people against such incidents. Honorable Chair, I would also like to move to Chapter 3, which provides for community-based care and support services for older persons. In a nutshell, Section 13 provides for the registration of community-based care and support services. Previously, the community-based care, they were not required to be registered. But under the Amendment Act, the community-based care, they are required to be registered. Not only registered, but they should be registered as a juristic person or a trust. But Babagolo, I would like to explain what is a juristic person. A juristic person can be a company, can be an NPO. So, Ogasi Wuli home care base, and then Wareki home care base ya Mavis. Molao audumeli. It has to be a company, it has to be an NPO. That's a juristic person. The purpose for that is to be able to hold that juristic person accountable and liable if anything were to happen to older persons who are living or who attend sessions under those home care bases. Are we together, batho ba baholo? Ke a leboga. And also, Section 13 provides for a penalty if community-based care how is not registered as a juristic person. You are guilty of an offense. So make sure that when you open your home care bases, when you open your safe houses, make sure that they are registered as a juristic person or they are registered as a trust. And going to Section 14, also we have amended the role of caregivers and their training in residential facilities. I would like to emphasize that all caregivers must be provided with training. It is important that caregivers are well equipped with training when they are dealing with older people, because you might find that in some instances, older persons, they are very old or they are disabled, so a caregiver should be trained in that section to provide social services and provide care for such old persons. And also, when you are opening your community-based care services, you must make sure that they are monitored and also evaluated. As I have explained before, this is for accountability reasons. We must make sure that we hold accountable those community-based care services. And also, Chair, if I can go to Section 17, we have inserted paragraph K and I. Yona ibolela assistant living. If I can explain assistant living to batho ba baholo, assistant living is a facility wherein batho ba baholo can go and stay or visit, but motho o moholo doesn't need full assistance. They are partially independent. The care that is required is not 100% like maybe motho o disabled or a frail older person. And also we have added independent living. Independent living is an older person who's able to take care of themselves fully. Those are facilities that are provided in the paragraphs that we have inserted. Chair, I would like to move to chapter 4, which provides for the residential facilities. As I have indicated that it is important that you register your facilities, whether you register them as a juristic person or you register them under a trust, it is important that those facilities are registered. And Section 18A provides for the deregistration, closing, or revocation of the registration of residential or community-based care facilities. A facility can be deregistered for several reasons. One, if I can give an example, is that there were investigations conducted and also there were findings that there is an abuse. that is happening in those facilities, that facility can be deregistered or can be closed down. And also, if you are running a facility that is not registered as a juristic person, that facility can also be closed under Section 18A. I would like to move to Section 22, which provides for the monitoring and evaluation of residential facilities. So, as I have indicated before, that facilities need to be registered so that we can enforce compliance under those facilities. Honorable Chair, I would like to move to Chapter 5, which covers the protection for older persons. As I have alluded before, that older people are protected from accusations of practicing witchcraft and being blamed in the community for them that they live long. He Modimo a o blessitse ka mengwaga e mentši, o sa tiile mo marapong. There is no need for the community or you blame ka witchcraft. If anyone does that, as an older person, you have the right to go to your nearest police station and report such person. If you have your social worker close by, you have the right to inform your social worker who is accusing me of witchcraft, and that person will be held accountable. Chair, I would like to move to Section 25, wherein we have inserted Section 25A, which deals with the removal of an older person without a court order to a temporary safe care home. Kale kale, go ntsha motho o mogolo from a situation which was not comfortable for their stay. We needed a court order. And then you might find that an older person is experiencing abuse. Let's say ka weekend di khoto a di bereke ka weekend batho ba bagolo, and you have to wait for Monday when the court resume. When you go there, you find there is a long queue wherein the magistrate is attending agent matters. Then you are not able to get a court order. So now we have amended this provision to say that when an older person wants to be moved in a case of emergency, whether it's a case of emergency or you are facing abuse or you no longer want to be situated in that place, you can be removed to a safe care without a court order. Chair, I would like to move to Section 25B, which deals with older persons with disabilities and chronic illness. I would like to emphasize that as a community, we should not exclude older people from cultural activities, from religious activities that are happening in our communities because they are old or because they have disabilities or they are frail. It is important that we engage them. It is important hore batho ba baholo ba participate in our community, ba be active hore le bona ba nne ba ntse ba thinyulla marapo, ba nne ba ntse ba joka. He ho ne le di gathering in the community, we encourage hore batho ba baholo should also be included in those gatherings. So le bona they can live happy lives, not only long lives, happy and very active lives. Chair, I would like to move to Section 26. With regards to Section 26, if previously in our Act, if an older person was facing abuse or there were accusations of abuse, there were investigations conducted in that regard, but there was no time frame provided for the investigations. Currently in our legislation, we have provided that the investigations has to take place within 48 hours. So, ha se taba ela ya lolololo, ya hore, re sa nyakisisa hore makina reng. After veke, you go and you ask again, and they tell you hore ai re sa nyakishisha hape. There is a time frame wherein investigations are conducted. If bao sotla ka mo gae, motho o moholo a ba o tshwara pila, ba o tima dijo, ba o beta, because there's this tendency that batho ba bagolo ba bethiwa. If ba o beta ka gae, you maphodisa a ne le 48 hours to investigate such abuse. Ha e sa tshwana le taba tsa kgale. Chair, I would also like to move to section 28. Mostly it's about court proceedings, that if you are appearing in court, you have the right to legal aid if you cannot afford a lawyer. You have the right to be offered legal aid like any accused person in our country. Most accused persons in our country, they cannot afford lawyers, they are provided legal aid. Le batho ba bagolo is the same case. If onyoko ya koto, we see someone koto and you are not able to afford a lawyer or an advocate, you are provided legal aid. And during that process, you are also provided a social worker wherein utlo offer social service support. It is important that how you are caught, heba o tshwarisitse or o tshwarisitse anyone as an older person, you can request for the assistance of a social worker. Ra utlwana batho ba baholo. Chair, I would also like to move to section 30, wherein we have extended definition of physical abuse, wherein we have also included that the unlawful detention of older persons is unlawful, the shagging of an older person is unlawful. Heba utima dijo, if they are not giving you food, Leona, it is unlawful and it's an offense. O kono reporter ko social worker ya gao o berekan le ena hore ka gae they are abusing me. It is part of physical abuse. They are abusing you, ha ba o fe dijo. We have extended that definition in that regard, Chairperson. And also, we have extended the definition of sexual abuse. We have extended the definition of sexual abuse to include harassment and also spiritual abuse. On that note, Chair, I would like to move to section 30, which provides for the powers of the clerk or the register of court. The register of court or clerk has the responsibility to provide the minister with the details of an offender, conviction, and sentence for the purpose of adding such information to the register upon conviction and sentences. Rautlwana batho ba baholo, those are the duties and powers of a clerk or the register of court. Chair, I would like to move to section 31, which provides that if if no tshwere as moto, and then after that your sentence has been expunged, you can apply to the minister for the removal of your name from the register. So if known a criminal record and your name has been expunged from that criminal record, you can apply to the minister for the removal of your name. Chair, last but not least, it's chapter 6, which covers the general and supplementary provisions. Under section 33, We have strengthened Section 33 to enforce penalties in areas of non-compliance to registration, monitoring and evaluation of services and investigation of elder abuse cases, among others. New penalties were added. These penalties include fine, and also imprisonment for a period not longer than 12 months. So if you contravene this act in terms of non-compliance, you are fined or you are arrested for a period less than 12. Last section. It's Section 35, and it provides community-based care services. Residential facilities should be registered under. They were registered under an individual person. They are given 12 to change from an individual person to a juristic person. Under that note,
Mempela. We have now arrived at an agenda item where I will be taking hands that are seeking clarity and also comments. I don't know, those who are responsible for house calls, can you organize me chairs that will come here in front? Because we are dealing with older people. It pains me when I have to make an older person stand for more than 30 minutes. So can you arrange the chairs, as many as you can, if you can put some here on my right and some chairs here on my left. So ke tlo tla mo lena bomme le bondate. Ke kopa o nka matsogo. Once I point at you, you come in front. Then you will be number one, and then you will be following each other just like that, while they are organizing chairs for you. Di sa le teng ntate Moko. Di teng ditulo or di fedile? Oh, ba tle le tsa bona. Tlo ba mosebetsi mona. Le ka kgona o tla le ditulo tsa lona. Okay. All right. A re nke matsogo ka mo. If wa kgona o nka setulo sa o tla le sona ke batle o tlo ema. This is going to be a very long meeting. So le tlo ema nako e telele, that's my worry. E tla le setulo sa o. Emisa matsogo ka mo ke le bona. A re etseng so. A ke re we are engaging on bill. Yeah, di face. Yeah. Ke kopa re utlwaneng. Go na le chapter tse about 5 or 6. Ke chapter 1, 5 and 6. Mare tsotlhe di bua ka batho ba bagolo. You will see where your government is really thinking for you. Now, re tlo bua ka tsona. Ntho tsa ka tsheko re bua ka older persons bill. A re bui ka metsi a mo Hammanskraal o rayo. A se IDP batho ba bagolo. A re tlo bua ka electricity e turang or sleep sa electricity se se ganang o kena ko Tlou. Re bua ka mathata le nang le ona, re bone batlogolo ba lena are abusing you. Re boleleng ka ntwele batlang gore mo billing ye le batla re kenya eng re ntshang re etsang. Bo machonisa ba lenketse dikarata tsa lena tsa modende e tla le bueng ka tsona tseo. Please a re se ra bua ka dikgomo le dipudi le di accident tsa Hammanskraal. All right, ke nka matsogo ya nong emisa matsogo ke le emisa matsogo. All right, mo ha gona matsogo mo. All right, metla ke a bone emisang ke gona le bitsa letle kwana e tla mama emisang fast. Okay, Tlou. Gaufi le motho wa ntho e orange Tlou. Ke a 2 or ko mo i1. Ko mo i1 ya etla mo ke a bona ya dula mo. Ke go bone etla mo. Tlou le 2 e le 2. Go sana le tsogo le lengwe ka mo. All right, etla mama ka ntate mo morao ke a bona Tlou le wena. Le feleletse a kere kam. Ke a le tseba lena le batlang gono a bue pele and then le be le emisa. Le re le nna ke batla o bua ka yona. Ha ke fitile ka mo ke fitile. O sho a le batlotla. Le sho le ya e tla buti, e tla go biditse Tlou. Now ke nka ka mo sighting. Emisa matsogo ge. Mama ke a o bona, followed by mama ko morago, le wena mama Tlou. E tlang ka mo. A ona wa batlang o bua mo. Le covered. Ko morago a ona wa batlang o bua. E tlang tate, etla ke a o bona. A ke bone ka morago wa cameraman, maybe una le somebody. Ya, Tlou ntate. Tlou. Bo ke ba ngata ba. Ke le biditse. Oh, ba fitlile. Okay, ke kopa le ba batleleng ditulo ba tlo dula mo. Please, ba batleleng ditulo. Ba dula mo, ba ke ba kgethileng ba tlo dula mo ba sheba lona, ba shebe nna. A batle mo. Otherwise o tlo bana lo mongwe a re ke mo choositse ka mistake. Nkgono a tlo dula mo. Ausi e tla mo eme nkgono. Au wa ke mo kwa di shine ke a mo tsela. Oom, je wil nee iets zeggen. Je is rarig. Oké, oom. Rovi Mike e tswere ke mang a etle. All right. Then me a kere ke row number 1 e. Ke kopa o eme mo my brother. E tshware that Rovi Mike ba eme batle mo wena so that ba kgone o sheba camera. Okay. Me etla o ka no qala mama. Hey. 3 minutes.
Ya le dumedisa ba botlhe.
Emma Payne. 3 minutes mama. 3 minutes kore o bua di facts tsa hao in a space of 3 minutes.
All right.
Re na le ntato mongwe ba re ke John. John o nka everything e o ikwadileng e maybe bo batla o bua ka yona and a wa fitla go di points tsa hao. So ntate John ko morago kwa o tla emisa letsogo. Ke tseba a rata a choose a strategic position. Eko John. All right, ntate wa Kepisi o tla ruta ba John wa rena today. Ntate wa Kepisi e wa ite go cut. We're just giving others a chance, but you might be having more points that you wanted to share with us. But we need only 3 minutes so that we can finish the meeting of today. So if you haven't arrived on your points, you are just going to take whatever you have written, give it to our man with the white hat and an overall. There he is on your left-hand corner. Let us start now. I am sorry for those who arrived late. Maybe let me remind you, right now we arrived on time and we had our breakfast here. So don't say the people are taking too long because when you are hungry. We have already eaten our breakfast. So we are going to take our time for me abue arebulele, but for 3 minutes only. Thank you, Mama. You can start.
Ke a leboga, go ya ka
Mama,
Ke a leboga.
lebitso la gago, we're from the following village. Thank you.
Lebiso la ka ke Moshabi Ellen Matapa, Mrs. Ke tswa ko Mabolepu, center ya ka. And then potso ya ka ke e. Potso ya ka ke a hore ke utlwile mme Mphila Mavis a bolela ka mokgwa bagodi ba tshwannang go tlhokomelwa ka teng, and go na le makgotla registered ba ba registerileng go ka tlhokomela bagodi. Yaanong potso ya ka ke a gore jaanong he ke tlhokomela motho o godileng as a relative ya motho, can I do? Am I allowed to ke mo tlhokomele na motho o? If not registered, ke kopa hore ke dire bjang? Ke potso ya mathomo. Potso ya bobedi ke ya hore wena being an old lady and you are having your old husband, le wena wa tshwanna ke hore you must be registered for what you are doing for your husband. Mokhalabi ke o tsofetse, and then our dira tse se tshwanetseng, maybe re ka dira bjang gore a thusege mokhalabi o ka re ha sa kgone ho tsamaya, ha sa kgona sepe, go na le
Ke a le dumedisa bagolo ba me, ke dumedisa le bontate ba rona le bomme ka ba e leng bona ba re thusang. Nna Yvonne Manzini, ke tswa ke le Atteridgeville. Ya ka taba ko gore ke abuse. Ke abusiwa ke setlogolo wa ngwana hetso a tagellang re thoma go lwela ntlo. Biano has setlogolo se le ngwana wa mme wa ke ba re tseela ntlo ba ka lebaka la gore no go sena will tla re thusa ra tsamaya le ena ya le rona gona ko ra o seka re tsa disa a risa di lawyereng tsa hae. Kante taba ko gore lawyering a ro tla re thusa ka gore ha rena tšhelete re tsofetse, ene batho ba ba lwang le rona ba na le tšhelete ba ka re tseela ntlo moroba a re ena o tla take over ka lebaka la gore o tshwere tšhelete. Ra dumela ka gore ke ngwana ka molao. Ha re fitla ko go a be le gore o nantsa boletse le rona pele gore betere title deed e bitse ka yena gore a kgone re emela. Ya ba ile gore ra dumela ka gore ke ngwana ausi a ka ene ke nna le mmae. Title deed o tla e busetsa go rona. Ya ba ile gore gona mogo ha re ha ba bua bjanong case e tla ko enile bjanong gona mogo ya ba ile gore go thoma tsotlhe tsa ka mo lapeng ka batswadi right ha re fetsa ko lawyereng ko go he ya ba ile gore case ntsela le di lawyera tsa hae kwa o fetsa le di lawyera ko go morago ha mogo.
Thank you, Mama. John is hule mola ka kepisi. Next one.
Ke a le dumedisa batho ba baholo. Lebitso la ka ke Elijah Seloma. Ke tswa mo senteng ya Busisiwe ko Kopanong Tembisa. So na ki rata ho commenta fela ka dintho tse buleletsweng jeno. Tse ding tsa tsona ne ke sa di tsebe hore di etsiwa jwang, especially ha motho a lo reporter or maybe o reporter abuse ya motho o moholo. O kreye hore lepodisa o tendang halinki report ya hao. So next tsebe hore o le reporter ko kae hobane hangata maphodisa aya emelana. Mara ho tseba hore lepodisa leo outendang halisanki ring gape taba ya hore ne ba re ba maybe ban se ba re ba investigator. Mara gona jale se ke tseba go golo gobane dintho tseo ne ke sa di tsebe.
Thank you.
Ke a le dumedisa batho ba baholo kaofela ba leng ka mona. Nna lebitso la ka ke Chokoe. Bjale ke batla ho tseba hore ke mang ya tlameileng hore ha o le bjalo.
Ke kgopela gore ke dule fatshe, dumelang bomma. Ke maybe ga ke atla ka tse dimo. Ke tlo botsa gore ka gore ba abuse. Oh, thank you. Ge ba re abuse 20 years you are a witch. Bona ba tlo tswa discharge. Bjano nna so se ke tlong go se kgopela le buisa ditšhelete tse nne le di re fa gore re je. Ke potso ya ka fela e nkutlwisa fa ene o ka re ga ya kwadiwa mo pampiring. Ene sa bobedi
Government o nkile tšhelete e feng?
tšhelete ya rena e ntseng after
And everybody who's here, wabolelang ke Ntate Mothetwa, the PCC. Tlo o bolela fela ka dilo tse nyane, 2 minutes. Amendment of section 25. Raya re bula di case ba ke go ba bula di case. Section order. We understand that it is here, and then we are here for this bill. Ba supetsa or no tsamayang go court. O bele batho ba ba assistant che. My lastly point that maltreated and abuse and negligence of all this act, ne? Of hereby study NPO, ba bolela hore no refeng card pele. How be le di facilities tsa government?
Sanbonani. My submission is that ke lebeletse chapter 5, protection of older persons, and then some insertions there, but there's something that we discussed. I come from Mamelodi Older Persons Forum. Wanda Monwa, me Wanda Monwa, called by the Department of Social Development. And there are golden games, there's everything. And when Gogos and Kulus go to, so that they can get their assistance and medical care. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for allowing me to speak on behalf of the council pensioners flats, which are based in Benoni, part of Ekurhuleni. The two flats that are in concern are Pauline Davis and Dennis Conradi. There's, between both the flats, there's about 300 residents all up. Okay. The council needs to appoint their own caretakers to handle the keys and assist with the election of a committee. At the moment, we have a voluntary caretaker, one caretaker to run a flat for about 150 residents. And And we find, because they have the keys, we have a lot of bullying to elderly people where no humanity and respect threatens with evictions by voluntary work. These older people, 80s, need to stand in queues at assist us with a mobile clinic to deliver will be much appreciated. We need bigger space for recreation centers. We do have a luncheon club that is provided by Methodist Church. We have a facility. The persons that live in the flats are not, but according to the amendment bill, I see we are that reside in those flats need caregivers, and the cleanliness of their flats, because some of them are unable to keep their flats hygienic. Sponsors for donations of meals and essential items like detergents, hygienic items, also for other items for maintenance, for example, lights and cameras. Whenever we approach council for help of maintenance of these flats, we are told that council has no money. The spare keys are in the hands of the voluntary caretakers. And some flats are being opened when residents are away and stuff are stolen. Confidential info in the hands of voluntary caretakers, like example, ID numbers of residents and relatives information. The maintenance of the building is not maintained in a proper way. For instance, we have a lift that doesn't work. We've got a big crack near the lift area, which one of the days is going to collapse, and the people that are living in the E block will incur injury.
Now it's time for John. You can now take everything there to John. The next one.
Kinale 8 years. Then kware tswang wa o tishisha hore ke pitchikana kwa apartheid. Ke ne ke correctional something into shabutukwela. Ke dula mo le bonemo. Every day kabo 8:30, 9. Ho tswelela koloi kwa pi ya to shaba tmotsile. Ho ko lebelela ke vene ya maphodisa ko pele. Ke truck kamera wa yona. Hona le ngo futhi wa utlwa ke koloi tse tharo. Tšeo di tsamaišang sekebeka a ke tsebona ke ba babedi kapa ba bararo na. Epe ba boela morago. Ke lemohile hore mmušo wa rena o tlhompha dikebeka e le a ntshwenya. Aowa, mara lefapha la human rights lona le bereka eng? Hone ya le batho ba senyaletsweng a se ka kakatwa ba re lapa le lekile la bolaelwa motho. Hona le ka tsele ba le thušitšeng ka gona. Jwale re ya ko kae riale? Tšhireletšo ya rena e ko kae? Maabane ke le kae somebody o mpodiše ka sekebeka se tshwentšeng batho mo Temba police station ka thipa. Maphodisa a batho e ba sepela ka dithunya tša bona ba palela ko di berekiše. Mara sekebeka se tlhakana le phodisa se a bolaya. Pušo ya rena e papata aowa mara di-case ke tše kae tše dingwe nkane se a thušiwe le na batho. Di ka re seka ntho e ntshwenyang motho la o tee mo 1 Di-judge di tletse nae ba phuthula mapampiri ba isha kwa le kwa le kwa le kwa ba sekisha ke motho o a sentse a o bona re ya ko kae tla batho nke di-case di fela sekebeka se bethiwe se trafiwe a ne le nna re a tshoa kumana ena ntwane le reng ke correctional service he motho wa bona ba mo file discharge nkile ka tswa mongwe a kgopela re e reng ko robala ko tronkong pele ke yo batho ba iphina ko tronkong
Leboga.
Dumelang bagolo, the table is acknowledged. Naki, just a point of clarity on two things and one comment. When I look at chapter 3, section 13 talks about the registration of community-based services. So, the amended bill, only a juristic person or a trust to register a project or organization, which also talks to section 35. Ebuanka, the same issue, there's a transitional provision, if we are not changed from a juristic person within 12 months, I don't know what the repercussions will be, but I have a serious concern there. Maybe we need more clarity around that because, I can't pulela. Nabito la kai ki Cynthia Masijara Tlou, Kitswako Eguruleni, Tsepo Yaschaba, but also part of Eguruleni Older Persons Forum. So section 35, there's this 12 months period, grace. So kikupa hubeli a detailed clarity on what needs to happen. I can give an example. Most of the clubs are founded by individual members with a board, of course. But then you'll find that because of lack of facilities, infrastructure, somebody uses her home, a garage or a yard to start services, implementing a luncheon club. Should that person pass on, there becomes a challenge because the resources belong to her, the house or the garage. Then if a member of that family takes over, then it's sort of an ownership family. So my question is, how can we circumvent that to a point of we don't want an individual, but the project to continue? As I made an example, should that be in somebody's yard who's been providing those services and they pass on, and then a manager or somebody is elected or nominated to be the leader of that luncheon club? What needs to happen? I think we need more clarity because we have cases as EOPF where people have sacrificed, and when they pass on, there's always this tug of war. Uguti, who's the manager now of the luncheon club? And sometimes it becomes so huge that it affects the families, even the members of the luncheon clubs. That's point number one, linking chapter 3, section 13, no, section 35, chapter 5. So, get confused. Chapter 5, section 25, it talks about amending older persons in need of care. My issue here is how can we strengthen this, because we have cases whereby older persons are being abused sexually, financially, or otherwise, and neighbors and people around can see the challenge, and they assist to report the case. Niazi Nonke, I'm sure you saw the TikTok video some time back where an elder was being abused by a grandchild. But then when you assist the grand to report the case and the grand says, no, I don't want to be involved. I know under Domestic Violence Act, there is that allowance to say if you are a neighbor or somebody seeing abuse, you must report it. But then what happens if you've reported it and the person being abused doesn't want to yes, ukuthi enza ama charges astike, they rather say no ngiyasaba because they've been intimidated to say, should you go on? Angeke sakuphukudla as an older person, sizoxosha, just threatening them to a point that they withdraw cases or they don't want to do about it. What do I do as a neighbor when I see such a person? The law is there, but how do we reinforce it that we protect our older persons? Thank you.
Thank you. Next one.
Good day. Atakaufela. Jaka ditaba di eme ka tsela e. Ya mathomo ke hore an elderly people or an elderly person o nyaka ho dira what we call letter of authority kapo letter of executorship, and we are court. How fitla court? Court ba re mo ho wena. In fact, ba ho fa the phone number ja Johannesburg. Ba re o ye mo. And then before you can go there, o tshwanetse o ba founele to make an appointment. And you try to phone those people. Phone ha e tshware ke motho. Wa leka ka makgetlo ha e tshware ke motho. Wa leka hore o ya di lawyering. O na le di property tse pedi. Di lawyer ha di fitla mola ba re okay. Ba tlhakantsha the value of those properties. Ba re okay, rona ha re o thusa. Mind you, you are an elderly person. Banyaka maybe so much. Elo wena, you can never ever we khone. And then put your ka ke hore o tshwanetse o ye kae because ba o supela di lawyer and o le motsofe o enka ka tšhelete. It means how to khona ho ba le yona letter of authority or that letter of executorship. And again, maybe you want to transfer one of your properties to one of your children. Ntle le will. It means le yona di lawyer di batla tšhelete. O ka se ke wa etsa mohlomong you'll wait until you die mo e leng hore will ke yona e tloreng okay will e property ke e. As long as o sa phela, it means you cannot afford to transfer one of your properties to your children. Secondly, ke nahana hore some years back I sa hopola hore ke ngwaga o mofe, I once attended such a meeting whereby, in fact, ere ke qale ka hore le boletse ka tlhokomelo ya batsofe di clinic-ing kae. So my consent go hore akso bolele hore ke nna mang askising gore ke nna gabo wa ha mutlana ke tswa Tembisa Old Age Care Center. So ke na le potso hore if batsofe ba tshwanetse ba tlhokomelo ko clinic-ing ba tshwanetse hape ba tlhokomelo le ko di bete. So situation ya sepetlele sa rona sa Tembisa e botlhoko. O thola hore o isitse motsofe sepetlele mo ile hore o tshwanetse a pick up a fall. O robala mo passage mo fatshe. Ha robetse mo fatshe mo passage le nahana hore mohlomongwe mothola o tla pick up a fall kapa o tlo nnesa wari ya hore ke tlohile ha ka mpeto but ke robetse mo fatshe. Instead of mothola abe better over worse. And o thole le hore ba re o na le betere jwalo o worse. So ke ne ke na le kopa hore how about re na le sepetlele se le reng ha se bereke ko Van Riebeeck, Kempton Park. Ke ne ke kopa hore se bulwe hore batho ba bang ba kgone ho ya sepetlele sale ba bang ba ethembisa hore situation e be betere. Ka kopo. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's hore ha o na le problem ha o tsebe o tlo reporta kae. So ne ke kopa re government ya rena e re ke bona maphodisa. Then I had to re ke bule boshiu ke ba bule. Ba fitla ka mohare gantse ke batho ba ileng hore ba tlo re khuthuza. Then banka phone banka go batswading ba hae go teng azamba moemelle mara ba re o natsa male mang ka tsho a ke re natsa male la ke ketsa example yes le ho bile jwalo ke tsamaile ka ya police station ka ilo report ha ke fitla police station ke reporta case e ke tla beyang le yona go police station. Then ke botsise ke re motho case a le bule mo tshwantse le yona ke o batla di service provider tsa di rape le tsa di murder bar mo nna and then ya bobedi ke e leng gore bo makhelwane ba report and then finally ba decide hore tshwanetse ke plekeng e itseng ko dula ko. So I'm happy ke comment ke nang le yona hore ka sheko ha o sa yua court if ever bang abuser
dumelang bagolo doctor ke o tla dinela matsogo metsing ke bona o ka re o frustrated o ka re are offering but too much, but be patient with us, we are old people. My name is Dr. Edward Sidibe. I'm 70 years plus. I just want to say I'm representing a struggling people who are by established had been struggling for almost 2 years to sali active and babata to the community. Havana the facilities. We are come the requirements because place is not ours. Kia municipality. And we need assistance. If you can look at the section, I want the table to note it. 3. I don't know what I accommodate to put into the act or a responsibility, the government to erect old age facilities at places where they are not available. I don't know, but I think I will also try by all means sit down. Me wa go khoteke na bua a re ba potli. Ba itshetsa ka mo dipotleng. Le rena ra itshetsa ka mo dipotleng. The facilities ki government including even schemes. Something that will cater for the old people. Or it must be a bite. All those good things that had been mentioned, home-based care, you can name them. So, relating the way in which it can be included as part of, and we are happy to reveal the opportunity. And understand what is going on. The work is too much for yourself, And there are people who can put input in whatever form. Ke a leboha.
Thank you. The next one.
Dumelang. Naka lebitso ke Mrs. Anna Lekalakala from Bopagana Bahudi Winterfeld. Ha ke rata hore ke lameleo. Ka lebaka la hore ba ntsetse mafoko mara ke tshwantse ke bue. Ha re le bokoko, ho na le bokoko ba ko disabapong, ho na le bokoko ba ko mokhukhung. Byanong ne ke re ka jeno ke ipeye mo lona hore le rona re leng ko dipolaseng re kreye tshwanelo ya bokoko. Ka lebaka la hore ho na le taba ya hore he le sena bodulo bo ileng ba lona ga le fumane dijo. Ka lebaka la hore re le bakekole ro aga ne moago wa hore o kwa bokoko. Re sokola re rile mekhukhunyana mo gong ba kopa ko dikerekeng, mo gong ba kopa ko dikolong. Ke utlwa lentswe la hore hele sena kitchi, hele sena dizinki, ga le sena di toilet tsa o phula, government e ka se le thuse. But na ke ikopela tleng. Re bokoko re registerile empa re sokola ka bodulo. Ha re ne mo re dulang teng ene le dijo ha re di fumane. Dijo di tla fumana ke ba khonang ba ko disabapong. Rena ba ko dipolaseng Winterfeld ba bitsa Sgandaf. Rena re tsela ko tlase. Mara ke kopa re ka jeko le re phagamiseng. Ya bobedi ke ya bokoko ba bitsiwang gore ba loya. Ke bolela ka metlha mentsi ke re go batla meeting o moso batjha ba beteng gore ba utlwe ka lebaka la gore koko wa tswa o tsena ko next door ha ena o ra re ke ko hahage. Ha kena ka mo next door koko a tshwarwa ba re o tshwarehile ba re le mmone. Byanong ke rata hore le rona ko mekhatlong ya rona re nne re he re le ko diforamong re bitseng batjha re ba botse ba tlhaloganyo re ga re setse re godile ditlhaloganyo tsa rena di boela ko bongwaneng gore ba khone o itse. Ke a leboga.
Thank you. I want to thank you for sticking to the time, but understanding the vicinity where we are in Hammanskraal, and understanding that we clapped you with a Kuruleni. And I've seen while we were presenting here, there are people who arrive a little bit late. Unfortunately, they didn't enjoy what we enjoyed in the morning, which is breakfast. But I want to take another round of hands so that I don't close you out, because this is your meeting, it's not our meeting. Your inputs were very constructive. You will see we will answer each and every question. So I'm going to allow you, those who feel like we arrive a little bit late and there are issues that I really wanted to bring to Parliament today, I am taking those hands now. It is going to be the last round. I'm not going to have another Messi. You see, you are having a very good chair. All right. Uom es number Ian. And then aner uom iso. Lo enamme len abuti mola me kya mona mo kya bona mo. And then ntate mo ka ke PC u ka rena le emblem ye green. Ausi ko morao. And then hona lo mongwe ka mo gausi le John. Awa o watla. O tla ke sa o bitsa. All right, so I'm going to give you at least 2 minutes, because most of the things were covered. You just hammer on the important points. And then this side, tautuna ke mo pele mo tautuna. Number 1, mme ke a bona mo Tlou, lena le engka mo ke khone go le bona le engka. And then I'll make a bona, me khale a bolaya ke pelo, e utlwile monate mme o re ke mmeditse. Ntate ko morao ke o bone le wena Tlou. Ke misitse o mongwe? All right, if ke misitse o mongwe Tlou. Le emeleng ka mo ke kgone ho bona group 1 le group 2. Okay, Tlou mama. Tlou. Yeah, no get yana. Let's 1 minute. It's a the last way. All right, are kena mama. Kena. Ke kopa 2 minutes, even 2 minutes, ne? Ke tlo le khaola if a late 2 minutes. Ek gee jou net 2 minutes. Okay, then say what you will say. At least I get your kans gee.
Yeah, thank you, Chairperson. My name is Chris Engelbrecht. I'm from Nigel. I was manager of an old age facility in Nigel for 16 years. But I'm a minister of religion, a pastor as well. So I meet many of these problems people in the community experience. But one of those problems we experience lately is that people who really need care and full-time care, they refuse to go to a facility because they think they are still independent. In the meantime, they are not independent. They have to rely on neighbors next door and whatever to help them with certain tasks. Now, I am very relieved about the section in this new act. Well, not really a new act, but the fact that they can be taken to a facility because it was very difficult lately to get a magistrate's order for a person to go to a facility against their will. Now, I'm very much relieved to hear that now a person can be taken to a facility without giving their consent. I went through the act and all the things that was made otherwise. I think that's for the benefit of the older persons as well. That's only my word of appreciation for this new reductions.
Thank you. Yeah.
Dumelang ka moka. Nna ke Rachel Ntshite ke tlhaga ke le ko Thopo Themba Old Age mo Leboneng. Ke tlo ema ke bua ka bakeng sa mabapi le bomme ba bokoko ba ba kana ka rona ba e leng gore ka mo gare ga crisis ya Hammaskraal ya metsi e leng gore ba re isa up and down ka taba tsa dipampiri be kae re na re ye ditoropong re kae re lokisa eng di social worker o ka rene di ka lebella ka mo gare ga dipampiri tsa rona di a bana le lesedi leo re ka re thusang ka lona re isiwa ditoropong tse ile gore ga re khone le ditšhelete ga di teng ho fitlha toropong ba go busetsa go di officing tsa rena tsa gona mo hae o tshwantse o boele gape mare o tsogile furugo o ile a lebeletse dipampiri a gore a re wena o lebane ke toropong a gore a re o lebane ke di lawyer tsa puso go fitlha go ba re no wena a re khone o thusa ka pampiri ya gago ya eng ya divorce ya eng ba khona go thusa so o boela gape mo rena mo Hammaskraal nke ba re naganeleng ba re utlweleng botlhoko di-social worker tsa rona ba lebelele di-papers tse ba rileng re di dire ba di followe pile ba kgone gore assista ke kopo e ke e kopang mo bagoding ba Hammanskraal. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Tobela, ke a leboga
awa,
bagolo.
ke kam. Yeah. Ke sa fetsa ka ro ya kam, ne?
Ke a leboga batswadi dumelang le kae bonkgono. Wa bua mona ke Jeffrey Nyatikazi o dula mo portion 9. Ke zonal secretary ya Sanko ke civic organization.
Ntatomolo a kgona ho dula fatshe.
Zonal secretary ya Sanko ya Hammanskraal ke na le kadi a segela bana ba gago ditena a re ngwanaka wena not knowing hore go tswela pele go batlega pampiri bopaki ba gore wena o leng Jeffrey Nyatikazi tulo ya gago e mo. As we speak hona banong household yona eo go na le business ka mo Themba ka mo. So banong ke stand se so one se bitsa ka address e one. So o batla go tseba gore ka ge mme wa gago a mo segetse setene ena ka mo o rana a business and thereafter le other family member le no rana business mara title deed ke wa gagwe yena sna tlhokofala tshwantse at least le yena a kry a will for any beneficiary my gore title deed ya address e one he Jeffrey Nyatikazi a batla occupier o etsa pampiri tse di wele under yena ke a leboga.
Thank you.
Dumelang. Ke Sibusiso Mabena, ke secretary ya PCC, sub-region 2. We are also a civic organization. Ke nyaka ho notice something to the attention of the panel, especially through your office chair. Hammanskraal is a country on its own. Next time when you come, Oscar itzela ko tlase. There are a lot of things to the interpretation ware ko morao kwa batho go ne le go bolela ba ra wa nna re ne tsona ene ha bolediwa mo sekgowa ha ba bua ra utlwa go tlhaela ditabatabana mo ene ne go le di-departments tse leng gore di a mentioniwa. Can you next you find it that is why when we talk about social illnesses you talk about everything that is happening with the community. So ke gopela this thing extended the invitation to other relevant departments so that each and every department can be on the panel so that they can come in and be responsible for their departments.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sanbonan Molwen. Mina ngu Rose Mankazana from Eguruleng, Epinoni, Ward 28. But at the same time, as a pro bono, a part-time work, it's very complicated and it's very deep. One thing is, abogogo kule area ngihlala kuyo, they don't have any, they don't take care of them. They need immobile clinic, number one. And then number two, also we do have people with a mental health, which they roam around Ilogishi or the area without any people that are looking after them. And I'm saying this because also to assist Umame Bemelana, a city, a high court, a Paul Kruger Street. It's less than 270. We are a master of a state, whereby we know if we show dala and you find that the title did you call now and
to John. So you take that papers there and sit with John. Abu Mama, they will come and find you.
Nake Donald Tikitsomo, Donald na Boning, Hammanskraal Region 2, ki member wa MK and PCC. Once he giliran nali mamuhulu akweluri, we wants to go old age home. But then, how feature the house right bila inali. Mara because I full time. Charo ya the old age home. ha se tshwaro e leng hore e pila. In terms of dijo, in terms of ho tlhokomeliwa ha ho tlhapa, situation e bjalo. Reason ke bolela bjalo is because batho ba baholo ke re he re bantsha ka mo ntlo, maybe re batswadi ba rena ba hola le bana ba bashimane ka mo dintlong. And then there's a time mo e leng hore nako he fitlhile o tlhoka
Bonani Batala, Ninjani, Skon, Nomsakatebe, Nhlala Ebuhle Park. Ebuhle Park abogogo abana clinic. Basafara phela. Ngiyacela. Okwesi2, iwari yami 1. Yimi. So mina ngazithathele yami decision. So ngicela nginewari yale 8 hours kusho ukuthi angeke usayivula. Angazi ukuthi senze njani. Cela nisiphi Tlou. Sine case la yenzeke Sunday. Entatakusa ngo4. Even yangena endlini. Yachayisa ama room. Kumoshakele, kubhidlikile. Amaphoyisa mayefika. Okay, bokuyiveni yecompany. Makuyiveni yecompany kutholakala ukuthi ayikwazi kuhamba. Labantu bayitshontshile iphume ngaphandle komthetho. Mabebheka bathola ukuthi hawo even Ebuhle Park ifunani. Asiven mosubukufuna ngabiye lapho. Kutholakala ukuthi babiza abangani babo. Atakwazi ukuthi kuhambe 11 amaphoyisa engafiki. Kumoshakele la. La ngecase akunandaba. Akukho mnandi kubhlungu. Kubhlungu. Phoyisa namanye amaphoyisa bawuvula istatement bathi hayi wena gogo ungagibeli. Vuli case mabe kanti baya emzini wemphoyisa. Mawumntana ebuya ngabo 10 and then athi bathe ngibhale phansi ukuthi ngayivula icase ngizonikezwa i400. Ngahamba ngeUber ebusuku njalo. Ngahamba ngaye police station. Iphoyisa langithola lathi ha ufunani lona la ngiact. Siqibile masukunathi kulento kubhala phansi ukuthi sizomnikeza i400. Ufunani manje? Uzovula icase yani? Which is wrong. Ibhlungu, it's painful. Cela nisiphi Tlou.
Our senior citizens to be here. And nagen nasem masango ke tswa ku Winterfeld ko Sgandafo. Mo vila ka se senior citizens under the umbrella ya Bopagana ya Melkalakala. Ya mathomo ne khopela gore na because ona di department ona di senior watu ati bona ba bolele le ena because le bona le home affairs la Dr. Chokoe gore khopela at least le rena go ba tjatile le mba re ka tsheko go bolela rena ba banyane we are not qualifying go ka assist le go tsena mo di portfolio ke molao o mo bya mo bona mara bo magogo ba rena ba tsama bong aba itsuru amendment ke bana no but if le re tswalela le re bya ko ntelere we are not qualified to ka assist and then go nya Winterfeld na le problem go change Winterfeld na le 70% ya di ombudsman o leng gore specifically o tlo deala ka batho ba borena ke batho ba tsofetseng ba bagolo le khopela ka gore yalo ke senya ke re
Batho ba baholo, protocol observed. Ki likile ho ya through the document, the revised version. Under chapter 3, yeah, community-based care and support service for older persons. I may be wrong, mara ha ke ya through yona, everything, the monitoring and evaluation is only for government-funded facilities. Funded, facilities. We have those grannies and opas baling in the communities, baling gore le bona ba tlhoka thuso. And in most cases, ha ba tsebe gore ba ya kae, ha ba le mo mathateng. Some older persons are abused by family members, especially when it comes to the SASSA grants. Le bolayang bagolo gagolo ke this technology, ne re se yona re di BBT. Born before sebedisa technology, it becomes a bit difficult for batho ba bagolo. This is a beautiful document. It covers areas, but also I feel there's a gap
ya me elia onu o buile mona gore batho ba rona ba leng gore ba mentally challenged, maybe quarterly, maybe 4 times in a year, me leng gore members ka for the SASSA grant, rona as the neighbor, not see or think of anything e leng gore e ka ba thusa. The awareness.
Thank you.
Dumelang batswadi, ke Mphamu ke tswa ke le mo Karana community development. Old age homes. And mostly the old age homes tse ke di a gona any monitoring. A gona gore a ba re mafela kgwedi ba ya kwa ba ile hola o ka ya mola ke ba thoma o tla bulukuwa ko. So ne ke re social development tse di leng teng di a comply na ke a lebo.
From Mamelodi, Mobitre, 1828. So I'm married for a month. Ha tlhokofala e child. So ne ke kopa thuso. Ba ntse ba aona ntse ba re abuse tlhahelang re sa tlhahelle. So I'm one. Komo one wa bona. Mo amaskral or kwa bobedi. Akitse. So batswadi nna ke bile le abuse ya batho ba ba ke palla ku ira letter of authority kwa ha Monamodi ntate o la ha tlhokofala ka mo jarateng ba tsa ngwana hae ba tsa pasa ya ka ba fa yona sampha yona back ebe ke a mo ke PC mo police station le photocopy ya ntate ka montlong so ba nkgopela karata ya hae ya police ya Standard Bank ebe ke ba fa yona ba tsamaya le yona ba ya from the na le yona am so ba irobile ebe ba tloga ba ya yona mongolo e setseng ko hae yona e tshwere dikhiya modimo a ngna ka re pila ke ngwana Mamelodi nka sepalle ke drop a re wa tlo setsa dilo tsa hao ka re nna ke tleva ya o feta mae ka mo nametsa ka mo rekela le lunch a ke a rata mara wena ka ronya komperekela botsotsi le bo ramolo hao ra fitla ra tsena ra morning madam ar morning ka re modimo wa ka wa nkutlwa ai ho hasle ho ha fela ai
Thank you, Mama. Ke a
o
tseba.
kara kampolai
All right, Mamela. They like the story. They like the story, but go and finish. Okay.
Arlo chena batswadi. Nna ke nna Alfred Kutumela from Sekaha Mohole Molona. Ke taba ya bahudi ka letsatsi la bona la moholo. Bane ba hola le ha khono kra tšhelete ona tshwere tšhelete fela ya go namela. Ha bahudi bana. Gore na ke eng se se ka iriwang gore go bane le se ka go bane ha ba tshepe bana ba bona. Mo ba golong ba ka gore Kosteng Vater ka o sa di go bula di office kwana mo tsona di ha khono o tlogola tšhelete mo Themba ke se ne ke se kopa batswadi ba ka ene se tseng sa bobedi ke ne ke khopela di line tsa go di clinic e kampane ba thome ka 60 years or ka mkhoba ka khonang ka te ba kholo ba tsentsa ba bane le mo banna motoro ba kholo ba thusa ke tsene ke di kopa mo go lona ba golo ba ka ke re thusang batswadi ba rona ke a leboga.
Thank you.
na phaya ku Vilakazi Citizen phaya ku Vilakazi Citizen didlala ibhola
Makhulu hawayetsa appointment enza appointment ngelo xesha uyaqaqa njena dinomzukulu umzukulu wami waso mama umntana mebe apha nge-social workers zase black like me neke ndihambe ndiyofuna umtata walo mntana ndathi hayi animazi mna utata womntana bathi how sa tsebe o tsamaye o batla death certificate sa hae and then le kgone o tlo thusa anzange ndiphinde ndiye apho into yandenza ukuthi ndijola Ya into ke endenza ukuthi ngabe ndiphinde like me. Ukufikela namhlanje. Lo mntana ona 14 years, umama wakhe umshiye ena 2 years 8 months. Rata ke le dumedisha atla mrena le mopholoshi wa rona Kriste Jesu. Ta e kgethileng re a dumedisha. Khopelo ya ka leina la ka ke mpitseng wa ga letswele la ga Tlou wa khomotša ga Msiza. Ke berekisha Spani ke re Tlou Msiza. Ke dira khopelo go tafola e kgethegileng mo amendments 2006 mo re bolelang ka assisted living facility. Gore ga re bolela ka provision of safe of accessible accommodation and ke kopa re lokele leina la appropriate support services. Mo e ladel lena le psychological and social ke kopa spiritual or material assistance to the older person. Rose Happy, ke tswa ke le Rose Happy ka Tlapo, ka laptop, ke loyalty fees. Ke loyalty fees. Ke le ba golo ka Mantaga berile Joburg. Ke ba golo ka Mantaga berile Joburg. Came into operation in 2010 to operation in 2010 means 4 years difference. Elore le na le 4 years difference. Elore le na le ba le shorta di machinery tshwantseng le bogolo ba rena. You don't understand tshusumetso ya rena e kana kang. Yes, you have the passion and we thank you for that. Mara tshusumetso e leng mo pishagelo e leng mo le ka se ikwishishe. Commission or nka ibitsa ere ke go tlhoka lentswe le le kaone ke re group mara lena le tla tseba gore le bia. Lena la overseer mo ba tswang mo tseleng le nna ke a ipala mo re tswang mo tseleng la re busa of the clubs tse di leng ko morago. And the ambassador, we are the elderlies, country are the elderlies. Ke yona tshwantseng ya tlhokomela di ambassadors, just e betha go 1,500. A re lebelela mabone ke bo 5 transport go tropong tso seche potla ya borotho. O shotisa bana ka mo potleng. Wa shotisa bana te ya mmeleke things.
Okay.
But re tlhokomele.
Thank you so much. Rakweli.
Dumelang baholo, dumelang tafola, leboha hore re fihlile thusi. Re mo ka mekhatlo. Sa mathomo a le re tlhokomele. And ene mara ena re rapela pula re skana. Ka re ha pula ena la ka mola thuso are kope mo lena gobane ha go sana tšhelete e leng gore ya funda. So tšhelete e leng teng ke e leng gore ya kwelekiwa ke rena bokoko gore re khone go ira. Ha re nyako tsamaya ka khumbi re nyako ya ko re yang ko teng khumbi tshwantse re patele re ntshe go tshwana le di taxi tse e leng gore di a patelwa go utlwisa botlhoko. Re le mekhatlo ha ke bolele ka di golden games ka re tsona di a la ba thusa. Ke bolele bo Sundowns bo mamang ke rena mara a re thusiwe ka selo a re sulankane re tshameka letsatsi le ke robetseng a ke na selo se e leng gore se ka nthusa unless e tswela pele tshwantse re tlo ira lengwalonyana o mphe bolo e one. Ro thuseganeng ene bokoko
Nna a ila ne ke sa khone go tsamaya ke na le arthritis. Ke thusitse ke go dlala ke go tsamaya re ya maeto ka lebaka la eng.
John, shoes. Johnny, shoes is shoe, feleletsa le shoes.
Ke feleletse.
O nyaka bolo, shoe, feleletsa le shoes mola. Yeah. Le Sundowns le Mamelodi mo le Mitch.
Dumelang kaofela. Ninjani? Igama ngoKhanyisa wakandobe. Ngibuya eThembisa ebusisiwe Kopanong. Mina kusho ukuthi nje ngikhona izinto engithe mangizwa abanye bekhuluma ngizwile omnye umama athi angifuni ukuthi kilaka lewu nami angifuni ukusho kanjalo. I-concern yami i1 ukuthi ngibona la kubhaliwe amendment page 6 to insert measures for the removal of an older person kubantwana ababusive. Maye mina ngivumelana nalento ukuthi ngifanele ngikhishwe endlini yami. Eyami lendlu. Why fanele ngikhishwe umntwana endlini yami? Ngihambe ngiswe kuma facilities lawe ngizwe ukuthi baphatha abantu kanjani. Kuma social media mawubheka abogogo especially babelungu ubona ukuthi umuntu oyike giver wenzani kugogo loyo umfaka impama umnyathela ngamadolo wenza yonke lento leyo. Mina ngivumelana naleyo nto leyo. Kusho ukuthi mangabe kufuneka kwenziwe leyo nto leyo akube yilabantwana abaphumayo la endlini. Angithi abantwana bami ngibazela indlu ngizithengele so bona abaphume bahambe bashiye mina endlini yami ngibolele kuyo hayi le kuma old age. Okunye futhi engifuna ukuthi ngigcwalisele kulabo abakhulumile eqaleni. Yazi ungathi uNkulunkulu uzwile imithandazo yethu. Imvula izolo inile besinganamvula. So sengisho ukuthi ke ngeCovid-19 sabuza ubuhlungu. Sashonelwa yihlobo, sashonelwa abantu esibathandayo.
John,
abanye abantwana.
John, take your percent. Chiamutho wa gago John. Chiamutho wa gago.
Dumelang. Good day, everyone. Good day, everyone. Yeah, I just got inspired, and somebody reminded me of something that I needed to talk about here. In chapter 3 of the community-based care and support services to older people, something came up in my mind as people were talking here. And then what came into my mind brought me to think of making a request to the department, the powers that may be, hore distribute all these facilities, wonderful things that you are promising to us elderly people. I'm very elderly, mind you. Take into consideration, think of other people. I think I'm adding my voice to those those tiny villages. We tend to forget where we come from. And there are so many elderly people. And most of them, they have the challenges of and then there are no old age care facilities like you would now normally find in townships, in established places, in urban areas, and such things. But back in the village, where there is so much neglect, so much, it's neglect. I don't have the right vocabulary to explain. And the police, I cry out to the voice, or to add my voice into those who said, beating the multi score sako England, but other stakeholders, but so the developed government departments is involved, that they should be here. Almost all the people, or so many people, talked about the service, the kind of service we get from the police station, it is that one that rose me up, because just last week Friday, I was home in the village, and there's an old lady who is staying alone in the house in the middle of the night, 2:00. That's when you are in your deep sleep and somebody wants to enter your house. The old woman was scared. She didn't know what to do. And when finally we went to the police station. What John?
John. John.
All right. At 2:00, when we go to the police station, the case was dismissed.
John.
The case was dismissed. John can hear me. John, the case was dismissed at 2:00.
Yeah.
Extend the facilities to the SAPS
Oh,
to
yeah,
do
but
the
John.
right people thing and serve the old people properly.
John, o emetse wena.
Ra leboha. Ra le dumedisa kaofela mo tafoleng. Dumedise the larger older people. Nna ke nna Mavis Moropana, ke tswa ko Thembisa Care for the Aged, ko Busisiwe Lanchon. Nna my concern, it's based on chapter 4, le 5. Chapter 4, seeing being the residential facilities. Renale an old age home, ko Thembisa. Ha e berekisiwe. Old people ba tlhokang care, ba ka iswa mo ba tlhokomela, mara the defend. Batho ha di facilities tse a di tlhokomelo, a ke tsebe hore ke mmereko wa mang ho di tlhokomela, is it a responsibility ya DSG or ya mang a ke tsebe, ke kgopela clarity mo. And then there's this family e ke tsebang ko Thembisa. It's a family of 2 elderly people. It's a mother and a son. The mother is blind. The son is disabled. To use his feet and hands. And then bajula di tloholoana. And then such people.
Sanbonani. Ninjani. Eric Udumeri say my leaders, and I'm happy for this opportune moment. I remember Chairperson Ham point out it's a tautona. In amendment of section 30 of Act 13 of 2000. Then in subsection 3, okay, share when abuse, psychological, physical abuse, sexual, economic abuse, harassment, and spiritual. But there is one, Chair, that I wanted to voice out, and if ilakatari cons, ditla fall. Yeah, ditla fall. There is this tendency that is taking place around the country during elections when political parties are going door to door for votes. And more today because they are very loyal to political parties. And I think political parties by user you see. So I feel there must be an insertion there. If a subsection 5 G, which must read as follows: no regalia belonging to political parties should be worn or displayed at all older persons' facilities or centers. Because political parties want this thing threaten real batsofe. So they will continuously do this thing of saying government, they must give us mdende. Mara blackmail or hosa vote so and so or party so and so or services. So I'm suggesting
Hore even in session, hore, please, let it be known, hore, political parties must not play with us. They come to us during elections, when they mobilize, then after that, they are gone. Chairperson. So I feel that's my submission. Hore, khalero hobala. Wabon. So it's about time. And I'm happy, Chairperson, in closing, hore, you have consulted widely. You know, when I look at the back of the page, there are so many organizations, bodies that you consulted with. You see, because you see, when a bed finalized, because the Chairperson, yeah, negli level for miracle healing, but next time.
You will note that you had a good chair. You can imagine have been eating by now. And everybody would be calling me corner to say, but I wanted to say, when you chair meetings, you must also have a feeling. You look at how people are. To speak. We are now at a point where we have to respond. We've got the Provincial Department of Social Development that is going to belong to their hands. And I've got honorable members here, I'm not alone. So as the closing remarks, in fact, he will respond and then I will be giving him permission. Just to cover those areas. Where is that roving mic? The roving mic, quickly. They will speak while they are standing behind me, so you can see them. I think come here. I think the camera is stationed. Okay. This is the Gauteng Provincial Department of Social Development. Is responding to you. If she doesn't respond correctly, she will go to John.
And also our colleagues from National. I am the director in the Department of Social Development, responsible for older persons, persons with disabilities, families, and homelessness. It's quite a very huge responsibility, but I want to assure you, older persons are close to my heart. In responding to the questions that have been posed here that will relate to the Department of Social Development, firstly, I want to start with the concerns that were raised by Umama from, I understand, it's retirement villages in Eguruleni or the Eastern Corridor. The things that she mentioned are really worrisome because to me, standing here, having implemented the act that we are busy today with, it is gross, abuse. Maybe to explain to everybody, we have these retirement villages that are under the jurisdiction in the province of the municipalities. But we are also, because as the custodian of the Act, which is the Department of Social Development, we're supposed to intervene in cases like that. So I want to commit and reassure Umama that as the Department of Social Development, we will follow up on the issues that she has raised. They can't live, under such horrible conditions where they are threatened. Retirement villages are not conducive to the welfare of older persons. And I want to mention, standing here, that this is a gap because of capacity challenges. Those retirement villages under the municipalities are supposed to be registered. The act that we're discussing today talks to independent living, it talks to assisted living, it talks to frail care, which is under residential care. So we will definitely follow up. The next one that I should explain, because it talks to the Provincial Social Development Department, it's about funding. I think there are 2 or 3. The department took a decision not to fund facilities that are not compliant. And why the department took that decision, it's because or the assurance from the experts, environmental health officer, that the facility is safe for older people. If anything happens, if the roof can fall, who's going to be in trouble is the Department of Social Development. That facility is not safe for older persons, but we are not leaving it there. To say, please help our older persons. So we should not just not help you. We are not leaving you unattended, but we'll still, work with you, follow up. At times we also advise that you can apply or motivate for funding from the private sector. I know it's not that easy, but we try, to explore all the avenues so that you are assisted. Some of the issues that have been raised here talks to our collaboration with other departments, with other stakeholders. I think what we are also taking back as a department, working together, there's the representative from the Office of the Premier, that we need on a regular basis to have that structure where we discuss all these issues that affect you. I know there has been, a lot of efforts to ensure that departments like Human Settlement, Department of Health, assist our older persons, but I want to assure you we'll continue to work with those departments as the Department of Social Development, as the custodian of older persons.
I think it's all right. If you can just provide them with the office numbers, your contact, and the office contact details of the regional office here and your office, and then you will close it.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I wanted to end by saying that in Hammanskraal, we have 2 offices. One is in Temba. You need any advice, any guidance, as social workers, we will solve all the social, challenges that we have. What we were taught at school was that social problems are not mathematical problems. You can't say 1 + 1 = 2, but we will work with you to ensure that we are able to assist. So the office is situated at Temba and Eersteras. And then in terms of the contact number, I'll give you the contact number of the director responsible for this corridor, or Tshwane.
So when you contact them, always refer that you have attended the public hearing about the older persons bill. That is why I'm calling your office.
The telephone number of the director, the name is Mpom Kwena. Her office is situated in the CBD. In case you do not get joy from the local offices, her number is 082 468 7365. 082 468. Are you with me? 468? Then 7365. And in ending, thank you so much for the attendance, for the inputs. There's a lot that we're learning from you as a department. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mempela. Oh, you wanted to? Okay. Mempela, wait. I think you will introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. And I want to greet everybody on the table, my colleagues. Dumelang bagolo, le kae? Re teng. My name is Gail. Lebitso la ka ke Gail. The surname ke in Pretoria from the Directorate. Colleague from the province covered most of the issues. Tse bagolo ba di raisitse the general, they are not province specific. And I think we also have colleagues, I mean, from the Premier. If we leave some of the things that needs to be attended to, I think Gugu can also come and assist. Nabakolo, I'll start with the issue of the caregiver. I know the first question was, if I'm taking care of my mama or my husband, do I need to register? Because we are saying caregivers should be registered. Akere bagolo. What we are saying, how the caregiver should be registered and trained. We are talking about caregivers mostly who are working in facilities. When I'm taking care of mewak, I'm not taking care of group of people like it. I'm taking care of, you also need to be trained so that you know how to deal with the older person. But you cannot register. One of the issues that he raises when a raising number of older persons who are suffering from Alzheimer's. And in most cases, they are being accused. Is that really departments, different departments, including your health, we need to come to Baholo and conduct awareness campaigns so that we understand I reach a stage as mogolo Alzheimer's. I know in our black communities, Alzheimer is not there. That's why when we see an older person behave differently than us, we begin to say, and in most provinces, those older persons are being killed, are being banned, are being abused. And the sad part is those people are being abused by the youth. One of the speakers indicated that we need to include youth when we consultations, so that the youth can also understand how is the process of aging. And they will be able to protect older persons. I know in the department some years back, we used to have intergenerational programs where we will have programs where older persons and the youth will come together to discuss, to have activities, so that older person can share their skills, their knowledge, their wisdom, and also the youth can also assist other older persons. We are talking technology now, and honestly speaking, we are not that good in technology. So if we exchange skills, if we do intergenerational programs, we'll begin to live together and understand each other. So we have taken a note that re encourage youth to be part of it so that they can be able to protect older person and understand the process of aging. Most of older persons are staying with the youth, so they need to understand there might be some changes and they'll be able to protect me. The other issue is the issue of facilities in our communities. To say, Mohamaskrala, we have residential facilities, when you go to them, the condition is not good. And sometimes we are forced to take our older persons there because we don't have any choice. Banaba America, there's nobody at home. What I can say is that those facilities, most of them are not registered. One, that's the first point. Secondly, the department doesn't know them. And if the department ambassadors, they won't be able to come and monitor and make sure that they comply with our legislation. My plea is, when you take your older person to such facilities, firstly check with the social worker of the area, if by it's that facilities, so that she can be able to recommend, to say, no, you can take your older person, or this one we don't know. And if we don't know, once you bring it to our attention, we will make it a point that we go and visit that facility. If it doesn't comply, has a comply le molao. Ka molao, we have to close it because we don't want to put older persons in danger. My colleague indicated that if an older person dies in a facility, the first person to answer is the Minister of Social Development. They won't say, when I'm to a residential facility, come and answer. The media will be important baholo, gore re reporte, and a lot na re make sure, gore ha re sa baholo, ke facility le register. Provinces, one person indicated that you cannot take your child to the school that is not registered. Facilities that are not registered. I know already facilities are government, they are very scarce, but let's do our own homework and consult social development so that we can get assisted. The other issue, it was the issue of the treatment at police station. When you go and report cases, the treatment is not just good. And that contributes to the issue that some older person prefer not to go and report cases. We are quite aware of that. And in 2015, you may correct me, there was this instruction 14, instruction number 1. That was issued to police station. When older person come to the police station, this should happen. But as you know, unfortunately, it was in 2014. And I'm not sure if all the police stations got that instructions. And if they did get that instruction, are they implementing it? So it's still our responsibility as the department to make sure that we make a follow-up. And also the police, remember, the police doesn't know anything about the Older Persons Act. So I think it's a requirement, it's a need for us to make sure that when we do capacity building, we include all stakeholders so that they can begin to understand how what should happen and how you should be able to how will we be able to provide good services to them. The issue of the queue also go police station to say, when a child go to report a case, there is a special room that the child is taken into. They cannot talk, but if it's an older person, you are expected to counter him, especially the issues of sexual abuse, and explain what happened. I think it's not good, and that's why older persons, how do you begin to explain that in public? So we really need to ensure that older persons also, banally a special place, when they go and report cases, but feel free, they are able to express and they are able to feel free for whatever we are saying will be kept in confidence. So I won't be able to go and stand more queue and be expected to explain what happened when I was sexually abused. So those are the things it's unfortunate because our colleagues from SAPS are not here because some of the issues, they also need to come and respond to the issues. To say, as police, this is what we do and this is how far we can go. But we really need to have this intersectoral collaboration to ensure that the department is old. They make sure they are aware of the Older Persons Act and they are aware of what is it that they must do when an older persons come to them for services. Not only police, we're talking about all the departments that we can think of. The issue of, someone raised the issue why we have to remove an older person without a court order if kunale abuse. Why remove the perpetrator? Our Older Persons Act maintains that an older person should remain in the community for as long as possible. It's true, the perpetrator, motho a tshwenyang ke ena tshwantseng gore a ntshiwe e seng motho a tshwenyiwang. But challenge e re nang le yona bagolo ke gore, remember, if you are being abused, it's a crisis. We need intervention. O batla thuso there and there. So if re tlosa ngwana gago, it's going to be a process. O tshwantse o ye police station, o bule case, a tshwariwe. And ha re sure gore a ka se kry bail. So what we are saying ke gore, ha re na le such a case, within a short period, re go remove a safe place. And if you read further, it says within 6 months. So within these 6 months, something must be done so that we can be able to go back to your home. It's very true that bagolo ba tswa mo magaeng a bona because bana ba ba sotla ba ileng gore le ikagetse bona. But I think, as is indicated, if we remove you, if it's a crisis, but if it's not a crisis, there must be other alternative to that thing, to the problem. And also the issue of intersectoral, if I may come back. I'm happy, Kani, because Honalidi represents older persons forum here. Much as we are saying, we consult broadly and everybody. But as the department, we tried to establish the older persons forum at national, in province, in district, and in local. So, we are taking for granted for older persons forum members are ears and eyes, mobile moteng, for how many the issues are older persons, they must take them up. I think that wa forum gore le ga re sa fitlhelle re tsa gore lona as forum members you can take those issues up. If hali di khone go di solve at local, they'll go attended to properly, they'll go to the province, from the province they go to national. And I must also indicate, Chairperson, if you allow me to say, the Older Persons Forum is a structure centralized, and they have the chance and the latitude to consult with anybody. They can go to the minister, no, we are not about 1, 2, 3. We are not happy about 1, 2, 3. They have the right to go to the president. They have the right to go to any minister in government to say, this is what we need. So we really need to strengthen our older persons forums so that they can be able to represent us properly. But if they don't know, forum in each province, in each district, in each local municipality. So please, Baholo, let social workers degree make use of your forum members so that they can be able to assist. And in the meetings, they will be able to tell us what these are the issues. I'm not sure if I'm covering everything or the issue of SASA, I cannot answer for like a issue why who change payday. I nadi one, why Sanzo the one, they get like Queen 5, the other month get 4 because it really frustrates you and your systems and your planning. So I think that one, I'm not sure if there's somebody from SASA here who will be able to come and maybe clarify for why did they do this at change every month. Lena, I won't be able to answer that one. Even the issue of the pay points. To say now they have to travel a long distance to go and get their grant, and sometimes we are offline, you have to go back so I know there were reasons why the pay point like you indicated, maybe but I think maybe through negotiations, SASA, they can be able to understand how much as we are trying to protect our holo. At the same time, we are frustrating them because now they have to travel a long distance for them to get their social grants. I think SASA people, even if they are not here today, but I think this is not the beginning and the end of our consultations. We will be making sure that we do have some such this forum so that we can iron out other issues of concerns. I'm sure I'm hopefully go ya go jono ne bagolo. Yeah, I feel where I go, John, but I think I tried to cover most of the things, unless if one moholo maybe can say, and I cover because I was trying to cluster them in one. We couldn't take them one by one.
Thank you.
Chairperson, I think I'm done. Ke a leboga.
Thank you. Thank you. Mempela, you want to add? You are covered. All right. Honorable Meso. You want to touch on?
Thank you, Chairperson. I think the department, however, I think I would want to get so that we can then able to assist the issues that she has raised in terms of esports. I'll contact her after the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Mkwanazi.
Thank you, Chair. Mina ngizothi ngizobonga nje. Ubo ayifiki kubantu abadala ngendlela efanele. Konke lokho okuningi okwenzakala amehlo. La bathi our NGO whatever abakwenzile. Clinic siyacela ngoba phela ilona themba esinalo ukuthi impilo yabo ibe right.
Kan ithi seferele.
Pleidooi aan onze jong familielede en onze versorgers. Pleidooi is dat waardeer onze ou mense. Onze ou mense bly nie jonk vir ewig nie en met ouderdom kom daar versaking van die gesiente, versaking van die gehoor, loop is stadiger, ons kan nie meer baie dinge vinnig doen nie. Maar onze versorgers wil dit net nie sien nie. Van onze ou mense kan nie hulle eie toenaals of vingernaals knip nie. Van hulle kan nie hulle selfs reg versien en versorg nie. Dit is hoekom ons versorgers het. Dit is hoekom hulle daar is om na ons ou mense te kyk. Maar hulle doen nie. So my pleidooi is, waardeer ons ou mense. Want voor my tans sit daar 'n universiteit van wysheid. En vir al julle wysheid wat julle aan ons oorgedra het, sonder enige tegnologie, kan ons net sê baie dankie. Want deur julle is ons wat ons vandag is. Baie, baie dankie.
Baie dankie, Honorable. I see those who are wearing those gadgets are enjoying themselves. Honorable Mekwe.
Thank you so much, Chair. Let me first thank all the inputs. I'm sure the bill will be advanced. Wonke ama inputs enwayenzile azawubhalwa yilo kuyofanele ukuthi libhekelele lo mthetho liwucibiyele. It is abenze ama input futhi ngiyambona nangubhudi olingana nami mhlambe kwese ukhulume kakhulu wathi at times ama languages esiwayuzayo njengesilungu avimbela abanye abantu ukuthi bangakhona ukuzwa kahle kodwa it was interesting ngoba ayikho nento eyodwa ayewayikhuluma yena ngesisuthu noma ngesizulu throughout ukhulume ngesingisi mara ngiyamjabulela ngoba ucacisile ngesilungu sakhe ukuthi ufuna ukuthini. No, don't. Angithi sikuphila ithuba waphendula bhuti wami. But
Honorable Mekwe, Anyani, Honorable, the problem with the people who arrive late, including my brother there, who have read the declaration before the meeting starts. That's the house. So may I please request that we keep that Nice. We have never had a point where we have straight dialogue. That is not what we wish. This is the Gauteng legislature, which is here for you. You have elected us. We have brought this bill for you. So can we allow Honorable Mekwe to continue? You can see she's even trying that she speaks in the Veneg that you will be able to hear. Honorable Mekwe.
Kubalekile chairperson ukuthi si correct ngoba siya record lapha. Manje it's a fact kanti akuyona effect. Chairperson uye wachaza nasekuqaleni ukuthi lamabhokisi asemuva lapha anama translators ngoba isicelo sakhe ukuthi kucashwe ama translator and ama translator akhona ubhuti ngenxa yokufika late sekucacisiwe akazange akubone lokho yingakho kwabantu abaningi abakhona la phakathi abantu bethu abadala bafake nalezi zinto lezi ngoba baye bafundi manje ubhuti kena siyaxolisela bhuti sizixolisele nathi ngoba awuzange uyithola siyo oversight committee ku government which meant at national kuno minister they lie within social development ngiyayicacisa ke le ngoba kuye kwaba khona isicelo sokuthi makube no minister mhlawumbe sizosihambisa leso sicelo ngoba akusiyithe efanele siphendule ngaso sisho ukuthi icacise ukuthi into zama older persons zihlala within social development. Okunye ke I think bese bakube ozakwethu la bese bakhulume ngako indaba ze intergovernmental cooperation, intersectoral and multisectoral. Izidingo zethu izidingo zabantu abadala zikhatha across all sectors, zikhatha across all departments. Into ebalekile ukusebenzisana and ngiyacabanga ukuthi thina sihleli la ngaphambili kuumsebenzi wethu ukuthi la kukhona khona into efanele ithathwe umukso kwamanye ama department ngoba sesila ngoba sesikhulume ngabanye abogxa bethu abangekho la ababhilonga kwamanye ama department ukuze sikwazi ukuthi basibhekelele kanti ke siyobheka ukuthi uthole ukuthi kune queue uma uthi uyabheka uthole labo sisi nabo bhuti abancane even abancane nakunathi abafuna ukunikezela ithuba lokuthi niye ngaphambili. Mina ke ngiye ngicela ngithi ayibakithi siyacela ngoba umuntu masekakhulile akazi ukukhona balwe bathi nabo bajahile lokujaha ngosi kusifaka einkingeni kodwa ngiye ngiphendule ngithi mina ngoba ngiyazilungisela ngelanga nyokhula ene if angizange ngiyilungise indlela nami abantu abancane nakimi uma sengimdala abazi ukungibhekelela but ke mhlawumbe ke labo bayazazi ukuthi izinsuku zabo zizoncipha emhlabeni yingakho banganandaba nabantu asebakhulile kodwa ke kuyofanele ukuthi njalo silihambise levangeli ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sibe isizwe esihloniphile ngoba in the African nature umuntu omdala uhlonipheke kakhulu and efanele sichubeke thina esikhula kamuva kungenzeka khona la singazange sihambe kahle khona yingakho sesithola siphinde silungise ngoba izwe siyalibona ukuthi selimoshakele Chairperson Tunahulu ukhuluma niyanakekela kakhulu mhlambe okukhohliwe ukuthi nathi sihleli la ngaphambili mhlambe ukuze sibe khona la is because we come from different political parties kodwa lokho kushoyo kubalekile bafanele sikuthathe ngaphandle abantu abadala bayakhala ukuthi uma siza before or after akusafani noma siza before ama elections kubaleke kakhulu okushilo. I'm sure into efanele engifuna ukuyiphosa indima esenidlala ayisafani nakuqala. As a result nami ngokwami ngiyishaya umthetho bese ngicabanga ukuthi awekho ama older persons forum yingoba anisekho as active as you used to be and if besi active ngabe abantu abakhulile abakhali kakhulu ngoba bebezowazi ukuthi baya kubani ngasiphi isikhathi kuphi bazonithola kanjani. So masenzeni sure ukuthi sisebenzisana ne-department si-reactivate umsebenzi wethu ngoba for mina if bekukhona umuntu orepresenta i-older persons forum or orepresenta abantu abakhulile e-clinic kuma-clinic committees or kuma-ward committees futhi kumnandi ngoba eTshwane I'm sure kwagcina ngesikhathi ngabo 2014 or before 2016 ukuthi kube nama-ward committees but ngendlela ama-ward committees ahlelwe ngakhona kufanele kube khona umuntu orepresenta abantu abadala akwazi ukuthi athathe iy'nkinga zabo aphinde aziphindisele asebenzisana ne-older persons forum masikubheke-ke lokho kungagcini kusuka mina ngingekho madolonzima ngiyorepresenta abantu abadala ngoba kwesinye isikhathi I might not understand ama-issues enhlangabezana nabo ngoba ngingakafiki kulelo zinga ngithi mina ngisakhona ukuphakamisa inyawo ku-90 degrees mara umuntu omdala makathi angisakwazi ukuphakamisa inyawo I will not understand kodwa ngizobona ngamehlo kodwa nginga-understand ukuthi kanti bahlushwa yini bangakhoni ukuthi baphakamise imilenze yabo ibe u-90 degrees njengabantu abasebasha. So ukusebenzisana-ke abantu abadala kubalulekile kakhulu. Okuningi futhi enikubalile into yokutrainwa is not only those certificates mawutrainiwe ozitholayo but is to understand ama-health related issues eninawo nokuthi uma une-health need efana nale how do we respond siniphatha kanjani nathi nje kwala sihlala khona sihlala abantu asebabadala kwesikhathi uthi athi ethu ngithi uyatefa ugogo but kodwa it's because I don't understand so nathi kufanele sitrainwe so uma sinakekela like unakela umntana omncane or umuntu onokunye ukugula sazi ukuthi sininakekela kanjani kufanele nidle kuphi ukudla kufanele siniphathe kanjani and all those related issues good noma ngabe uye eclinic uma ngabe unikezwe amapilisi kufanele uwaphuze nini kanjani and uma ngabe ureacta in a particular way what does it mean akusumsebenzi ke we-Department of Social Development alone but umsebenzi wethu sisonke siyi-society ngoba asikho isizwe esiyohlomula ngaphandle ukuthi sinakele abantu abadala kunalesisho esithi it takes a village to raise a child fanele sisitshintshe sithi it takes a village to care for the elderly and senior citizens. I think several people bakhuluma ngendaba yokumonitara ngithi mina nathi ngokwethu sihlezi la as elected leaders in society kuwumsebenzi wethu ukuthi simonitare uma nikhala siye la nikhala khona siyobheka ukuthi idingo zenu ziyanakekelwa na so irole yethu as also as elected leaders nabanye ogxa bethu sizobafundisa ukuthi singahlali in nothing for us without us leso sisho sibaleke kakhulu ngiyabonga kakhulu Chairperson.
Thank you very much. I don't know if I have to give Honorable Sedinyani before my inputs also, but maybe let me give you.
The program so I must close. I close here, you can come back.
Wait. Okay. Honorable Sedinyani want to close. Emphasizing that your inputs, even though you have even said all of them because of the 3 minutes that you might have to John, we promise all those inputs will be incorporated into the position of Gauteng as we are that all your suggestions, there were many beautiful suggestions that you have raised, many beautiful concerns that you were raised, including the concerns that why does it look like this government to come and emotionally abuse us, and then after that, perpetual abuse, according to some speakers, they look and protect them. I would like to also thank the Kudas arrived here and they arrived on time. They ate breakfast. You see, I'm stressing breakfast because while we are there, let me just tell you that as this committee, because we have taken inputs while we were at the City Hall in Johannesburg, we have also collected inputs from you. we will try to push that we have. That is a session that will not be long. It's going to be a session where you're going to see that the inputs that you want, we need inputs, we are here. But when we send all your inputs, we are not calling via it will be in a central place around collecting this gadget. We are older people, we understand your bags. They do have an alarm. So we don't want you and then you think, no, we are saying you are a witch. No, it's because you forgot to give us back. The point is that as we have eaten breakfast, now we are going to eat lunch. You will eat lunch. I don't want anyone to leave here without eating lunch. So, I'm going to look at you that you are not eating. I'm giving you food. You are not eating. I brought the bill here to protect you from Batlogulu, and when you are enabling yourself to be abused. I'm trying to protect you. You are showing me, no, I don't want your protection. I like it when they abuse me. Okay. The last one, before Honorable Sizidi Nyani give us the closing remarks. Just remain calm. Tomorrow, MEC for Social Development is visiting you at Stengvater. There are offices of Department of Social Development that they are opening, or centers that they are opening. So MEC like this choir called Temba Choir Yabogogo. She's requesting you to join her tomorrow. Wear your normal uniform. I understand you wear black and white. Come tomorrow with your black and white. She wants to dance with you. So make sure that you are there tomorrow. More communication will be sent to your coordinators. And then without a waste of time, Honorable Sesenyan, let me take this opportunity and allow you to give us the closing remarks, Honorable. And then after that, you can declare this meeting agenda.
No, regular modula stulo, Dr. Tlou. Kilebore badudi ba hamanskra le koruleng. Baleng gona today. Re batla o lebogela nako ya lena ele gone go fitla mo letlele re fe di input tsa lena. I think se re skoleng gagolo ke hala re fa fela di input tsa lona mabapi le kopane re lebeditseng yona which is to talk to the bill. Mara le re boleletse le mathata a lena a le faceantseng le ona go malapeng. And re le kwela le bolela hore lena basadi ba gekole le bana bagolo mathata a le a tshwereng ka mo dintlong tsa lena tsa di letter of authority jwalo akere ya re di kwele jwalo la ba bolella more ba gopela re tle next time re tshwere le mafapha ka mokao yo re kwele ne go bolela le membera megwe re santsane re sebana mo ra re maybe mistake engwe che e re idile a re etamo no santsa re etamo re tshwere home affairs ba bantši ba lena mo le dutse mo le sa tshwere dipasa tse le tsa di dompas re tere le change tsona because next meeting area re tla le home affairs a ke re le kwele la ile chairman a re o lena le ska bolela ka metsi le bolele ka di mare le di boletse letter of authority ba ntshwa ka dintong ba evictua le gona le re thushe re ba thushe a ke re ba golo jwale ya ka ela mmereko ne le o monyane hore ke ska go re le bitša le te le be le rena whether breakfast gona lunch gona le no ta re bereke re ye pele. Thank you very much.